They said it was just a shortcut, just a peaceful trail through the trees. No harm done. But when your dog limps home bleeding, and your land gets treated like a public park you never agreed to, it stops being innocent. And when it's your name on the deed and a judge just awarded you $20 million in damages, yeah, let's just say, things got real. Mateo Rivas had been saving for nearly half his life. Every extra shift, every skipped vacation, every dollar stashed away was for one thing: freedom. So when he finally found 15 acres of dense, quiet forest in northern Oregon, tucked right next to a pretty little subdivision called Silver Pines, he knew this was it. No shared fences, no power lines, no HOA, just trees, trails, and the sweet sound of peace. He double-checked everything, paid extra for a thorough title search, walked the land with a surveyor. There were no easements, no rights of way. This land was his, fully private. He even had the deed framed in his living room, like a badge of honor. But peace. That didn't last long. From the very first week, people kept showing up: joggers, dog walkers, kids with backpacks and Bluetooth speakers. Mateo thought maybe they were just lost. So he put up polite signs, added a small wooden gate at the foot of the forest path. But they kept coming like they owned the place. It wasn't just one or two. Families set up picnic blankets by his stream. Teens built a whole bonfire pit, complete with benches made from his fallen oak. One guy even brought his lawn chair and a cooler, told Mateo, "Relax, man, this is common space. Diane said it's fine." Diane Mercer, the HOA president of Silver Pines. Hair too perfect, voice like a glass of dry wine, and a smile that said, "I get my way." Mateo tried talking to her, brought the deed, the maps, everything. She took one glance, then smirked and said, "Oh, honey, that's not how we've always done it here." "Excuse me." She claimed that the neighborhood had always used those woods as a communal trail, and that Mateo was causing unnecessary division by trying to restrict access. She even suggested with a straight face that he think of the greater good. So Mateo doubled down, installed taller fences, motion sensor cameras, and posted big warning signs every 50 feet. 1 week later, his cameras caught Councilman Greg Fallon, Diane's right-hand man, literally tearing the signs down and laughing as he tossed them into the creek. "He's just one guy," he told someone on the phone. "He can't stop all of us." That was the last straw. Because one morning, Mateo's dog, Rocky, a 90-pound German Shepherd, loyal to the bone, limped home yelping, paw soaked in blood. The vet found glass and burns. Turns out some teenagers had thrown another party in the woods the night before. Bottles, coals, shattered trash. Rocky had stepped right into it on his morning patrol. Mateo broke. He wasn't angry anymore. He was done. He hired Elena Grant, one of the sharpest property attorneys on the West Coast. And when she read through the emails, the photos, the videos, she didn't just see trespass. She saw conspiracy. They filed a lawsuit not just against the HOA, but against the entire board and 37 individual residents who'd been caught trespassing on camera. During discovery, they struck gold. Elena found old emails going back years, and I mean years before Mateo even bought the place, where the HOA openly admitted the land wasn't theirs. One email from Diane herself said, "Possession is 9/10 of the law. If we use it long enough, it's ours." You ever heard that from someone in power? That's not ignorance, that's theft with a plan. And then came the bombshell. The HOA had created a secret fund. They were skimming money from homeowners' dues to build amenities. On Mateo's land, benches, trails, signs, even a 2-story treehouse with a zip line. And they didn't stop there. Diane had been using his woods to sell houses, advertising it as exclusive access to private trails. At trial, former HOA members flipped. One admitted Diane threatened to fine anyone who questioned the land's boundaries. Another said she quit the board entirely because she couldn't stand the bullying. And Councilman Greg, he crumbled like a dry leaf. Admitted the board knew the truth all along, but didn't want to kill the vibe. Elena tore them apart in court. She called it organized theft, abuse of power, and personal intimidation. Environmental experts testified about the damage: erosion, destroyed roots, contaminated water runoff. Even a forensic accountant explained how the HOA's use of Mateo's land added value to their homes while dragging his into the dirt. And then came the verdict. 6 hours of jury deliberation. That's all it took. Guilty on every single count. $5 million in damages for the environmental destruction, emotional distress, and property devaluation. And then, the jury added $15 million more in punitive damages. $20 million total. You should have seen Diane's face. She went from smug to stunned in under 5 seconds. Her real estate license suspended. Her job gone. Her brokerage dropped her right there in court. She screamed, "This is impossible." He ruined everything. The judge had to warn her for contempt as she collapsed into her chair, sobbing. Greg just lowered his head. Other board members sat frozen, realizing they'd be paying for this with their homes, their savings, maybe for the rest of their lives. The HOA was dissolved by court order. A state administrator took over the neighborhood. And the board, all criminally charged. Bail was set at $500,000 each for Diane and Greg, $250,000 for the rest. Mateo, he walked out of that courtroom into the cool Oregon air, finally free. No more trespassers. No more lies. No more being treated like he was the villain for defending what he owned. And before heading home, he did one last thing. He took off the last no trespassing sign, not because they'd won, but because he had. Everyone knew now whose woods they were. But here's the thing. What would you have done? Would you have gone nuclear like Mateo? Or tried to find a softer way? Drop your thoughts below. Was 20 million justice or overkill? Do HOAs have too much power, or are they necessary to keep peace? Let us know in the comments. And if you've ever gone head-to-head with a neighborhood like this, well, you might want to keep that lawyer on speed dial.